I think it has opened my eyes to just how much more there is to the K-pop community, to people who work in the industry, to people who carve their own space out. Being able to hear like inspirational stories about how someone who's already a director can work with an idol to create a really cool film, like a short film, to see how somebody can create their own magazine, a YouTube channel that they've had running for well over a decade. Like all of these different accomplishments are so comforting to me because it truly shows that like there really is no one path to working to something, to working towards being with something you love.
Hi everyone, my name is Sissi.
I'm Chrismaly.
And this is Pod in the Verse, a fan-first podcast that explores everything about the music world.
Episode by episode, we'll dive deep into the latest Weverse content, get to know other fans, and stay up to date with what's going on in the K-pop world.
So, grab your favorite headphones,
get comfortable,
and dive into the pod with us. Okay, Chrismaly. Well, I feel like we've done this intro 20 times now.
I know. Well, more than 20 for our editors.
And this is our last time saying that intro. So honestly, it feels crazy, but this is our last episode of the season.
I know. Season 1 wrapped up. There's been so much that we've done. I mean, the fact that this even exists now, like this just began as an idea in our heads. And there was so much work that went behind it. So many guests that we've interviewed, so many updates from the Weverse updates.
And honestly, this kind of feels like deja vu, no? Like, it feels like we're back in the same seat, like doing the first episode where we talked about the globalization of K-pop. And now we're talking about how that really has impacted our lives, but also how that has continued to grow even more in this first half of the year. And so it's crazy. It's crazy that we're still here and that time has gone by so fast.
Yeah. And I feel like something that's pretty remarkable is that we started off by speaking about the global impact of K-pop, how much fandom has grown everywhere. But within these last 20 episodes, or last 19, and this being the 20, we've really expanded by not just saying it, but showing it with the topics that we've covered, the guests we've had on, like even like all of the updates that we've covered this year of events happening all over.
Yeah. And just to name a few of the guests that we've had like famous choreographers like Jonah. We've had remarkable directors like Lee and Kay from Soul Switch. And we've had content creators such as like Differently Alike, Bookish Theories. We've had so many people who play different roles in the K-pop industry and build the fandom community and also support the artists in different ways. So I think seeing that like that type of diversity in our guests is has also shown like how big K-pop has continued to grow, right?
Yeah, and I think what's even most interesting is they're all people from different walks of life, have entered K-pop at different points, whether it was first generation or the most recent generation, different groups. Like they have such different interests, but because they all found K-pop at one point, it affected their journey at some point. So some of them even made careers out of it. Others have built whole communities. And it just makes me feel really proud that there's so many people out there not just listening to the music, but doing something with it.
100%. And just like us, we've also talked about like our careers a little bit, like reflected in tiny bits in different episodes. We've also been able to build a career in K-pop and also build a K-pop podcast out of it.
I know.
It's
like
amazing.
Podception.
Yes. So I think the very first important question we have to discuss today is, in the first episode, we talked about how K-pop is not just a genre of music now. The K is like limiting it now, right? Like now it's part of like a global stage. So how do you think you've continued to see that change and that transition? And how do you feel that impacts now?
Well, I think one of the most like easily remarkable ways we've seen is just the normalization of K-pop on global stages, such as Coachella. Now, we spoke about Coachella and my experience with it for Blackpink a couple of years ago in our Blackpink episode. But I think that further proves that because every year now we can not only hope to see an act, but expect to see an act. It shows that it has earned its like place on a global stage.
And of course, like we also talked about Enchella. I think like that, how people call Coachella Enchella is also crazy because it shows the impact in like that, how much of a legendary performance K-pop can be in a global stage. And so I think seeing those little nicknames that they put to Coachella is so cute, and like it warms my heart to know that it had that impact on people.
Yeah, like it was that much of an event for them that they felt like the highlight of Coachella for them was seeing ENHYPEN.
And not just Coachella, I think seeing 17 and TXT in big Mexican music festivals here and be part of like a lineup with other artists. I think we've talked about it in those episodes for 17 and TXT, but I think as both Latinas, that really means a lot to us. And I think like growing up, that like we would have never ever dreamed of that, right?
Yeah, because I think, and to some extent for K-pop fans, when you, in the past, if you were kind of hoping that they would be on one of those stages, one of your favorite groups at the time, some people would think of it as like, oh, it's like a novelty. Like it's something that might happen once or twice, but it's not actually something you should ever come to expect, because that music is not the same as this kind of music, but showing that like the audience is valid. There's so many people that want to hear it. And they also are like a diverse group of fans. They're not fans that only like K-pop, but they do like other genres, such as like in Latin America, you've got other pop, you've got like regional, like you've got so many different genres. And the fact that they can stand on the same stage and still receive the same kind of adoration, appreciation, and even get new fans, it shows that it's here to stay. Like it's not something that's just going to come and go.
Right. And I think even seeing SMTown for us.
Oh my gosh.
Like I saw it both in Mexico and LA. And I think for me, that was my dream. Like going to SMTown, ever since I started liking Super Junior and started liking K-pop at the age of 9, that was my dream. Like seeing all of the SM artists in one place and seeing that like happen one more time in the US, because it already happened like more than 10 years ago in the US. So seeing that come back to the US, but like finally land in Latin America, and then seeing all those behind the scenes of like, it's kind of like a boot camp. Like all of them are like all of the artists going on the plane. Like I think seeing that makes me so proud to be like a fan, and we both had such a good time.
Oh my gosh,
we knew every single song, so I felt very old, but also I felt like wow, like we are really keeping up to date with like everything that's happening. We also fell in love with NCT Wish, so I think like it was like a legendary moment for like K-pop fans all over the world.
So no matter what generation you got into K-pop, but specifically if you got in when we did, which is second gen to third generation, SMTown was like such a momentous event. Like you kind of wish you could have gone there. It wasn't as global as the way it is right now. And so being able to see them bring older artists such as TVXQ to stand on the same stage as their SM25 trainees, like it felt so almost fulfilling. Like, oh wow, I it's like I made my 16-year-old dream come true by being able to come see this. And sometimes you think, oh, but is it just like people say online, when people say like, oh, nostalgia, that makes it so great. But then actually getting to see it in person and seeing all of the groups and covering some of the classic songs that we all love, it makes you feel like, wow, like this really did mean something to me. And I'm so happy I still have it.
And not just that, I think seeing the other day, you showed me like this screenshot from like the Billboard music chart. And seeing Appa being there for like 30 weeks consecutively is crazy.
It's insane. Like at that time, because at that moment I was looking just to see what's on the charts, and the fact that it's stayed there consistently.
In like the top 100, right?
Yeah, it's like the Billboard Hot 100. I think that was the chart. Like if I see it, we'll put it up here. But it had been still on the charts for 29, 30 weeks straight.
And it might continue to be on that chart forever.
It probably still is on the chart and will continue.
Yeah. And I think seeing like different artists cover different magazines like Billboard, Rolling Stones, Variety, I think seeing that coverage, as for me, I'm like, oh, there's like more Asian representation now. And I think for me, I really see myself represented in different like mainstream medias that when I was younger, I was like, none of them look like me. But now having that representation, I'm like so proud of them for taking K-pop and Asian representation like much further. And for the younger generation, the new generations of fans now to be able to grow up in that comfortable space and be represented in that way. I have another question.
Yeah.
What was the comeback this year that made you just like fall in love?
Oh, that's such a hard question because first there were just so many
iconic ones. I think for me, the one that marked that caught my attention the most was G-Idol, who's now Idol. I think like seeing that change in their concept to celebrate like this new era that they have. I feel like when we think of G-Idol, because their initial concepts was very much like girly, like of course like girl power, but now seeing them do this like darker concept with like minimalistic styling and like do kind of like a retro type of concept is really cool to see. And then I think seeing them step it up even further by doing like very intense performance choreography shows like how much versatility they have as artists. So they've really been able to maintain kind of like a distinct identity with like the storytelling that they have. And after all, like their lyrics are also very like, this is us. And, like they're very unapologetic about it. And I love that.
It's so great to see artists continuously revamp and surprise their fans.
Yes.
I do think in that same line of thinking, I would say La Seraphim was mine. Because, you know, they've had so many really good comebacks over the years. But with this most recent one, there's like a bit more of athleticism to their dance routines. And there's always such a strong message with every comeback, but the message is not always the same. At one point, it's like, you know, anti-fragile. At another point, it's, you know, we make it look easy, even though it's not. We make it look easy. And in another one, they're literally voguing, like, you know, so act like an angel, dress like crazy. Like, and so even with this most recent one for Hot, I love seeing how they continue to revamp their visuals, revamp their message, and further like bring the fear knots into their story with them.
Yeah. And then another comeback that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But we're all very, very excited. And hopefully we get to see it by the end of this year is BTS.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All of them are back now. So
freshly back from the military.
We will see like the new dynamic that they have. This is a new era. This is like a new chapter in the long history of BTS. Obviously, we've seen like J-Hope and Jin like leading the front in that. But I think seeing all of them together, we've been waiting. We've been waiting 2 years. So this is the year.
And they've kept us, you know, well fed over the last 2 years with all of the music solo project that they've had. And I think being able to see them grow individually has been such a great experience as a fan. But it is going to be so interesting to see what the dynamic is for that first time that they're all back together.
Yeah. And then I think we need to talk about anniversaries because there's so many like second gen, third gen, fourth gens who have been celebrating like their big anniversaries. And the fact that they've like lasted this long shows like the strength and like unity that they have. And I'm like, you're still dancing and singing? And I'm like, we're here for it.
And also together. Like that's one of the hardest things to do for any profession.
So for me, I think as a carer, I'm like seeing 17 celebrate their 10th year anniversary. And then a couple of months ago when they celebrated, we saw like the impact that they had on the Han River, like underneath that bridge, which is like a public space, and seeing them perform for free. And then I saw that people had to rent boats, like because it was like by the river, and like people who couldn't get seats, like literally were just like renting boats by the river to see it.
By any means necessary, they're going to watch.
Such a big scale event. And then I think seeing 17 transition from like a group that came from nothing. And then we talked about this obviously in their episode, but
with React to the K, we talked about 17.
But like that 10th anniversary, that I think their new concept also has like really impacted me.
I mean, 10 years in to still be changing it up to where your fans are even shocked is no easy challenge, no easy feat.
What about you? What anniversary was the best one for you?
For me, the best anniversary was probably SHINee this year.
I was gonna say that after. So I honestly, and then seeing them like release like a song with Jonghyun in it, I was like, they're 5. Like they will forever be 5, and
It really just like hit me in my shallow heart.
And 17 years? I was like, has 17 years gone by that fast?
That's a whole teenager.
Like for me, I still think like Nuna no Mu Yepo was like maybe like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But knowing that was like so many years ago, is like dang, almost 2 decades ago is crazy.
But it does speak to the how do you say, the longevity and the durability of some of these groups, that even though SHINee is a second gen group, and like Replay has been a song that like is from the ancient days of K-pop, it's still in rotation. People are still covering it. It's still so iconic because there's just something so pure and lovely about it. And I think as a group itself, that essence that they've maintained over those 17 years is what makes them a group that can keep coming back together despite the different schedules that each of the members have, or no matter what their fans are currently doing. Some of them have really, their lives have changed so much since they first became fans. But they still have so much love for the group, and they will still continue to fill out stadiums no matter where they go.
100%. And then seeing them do that like special concert for their fans,
and
seeing so many of them show up, I'm like, just like you said, like they still have that impact on people. And another group that is celebrating 10 years is DAY6.
DAY6, my first K-pop concert.
And then seeing so many people not be able to get tickets because they're much more popular than maybe what they expected, but we're here for it. Like, and I'm like, please come to this side of the world.
Please. I mean, they've grown so much during like the last couple of years. And I know it's surprised me because I thought that I had gotten into them at the point where they were very popular, but truly that's not even the case because since then, like I went to their concert in 2017. It is 2025. And now the way that
almost
they
10
have
years.
Almost 10 years, and they still show no signs of stopping. And that's that they've done their military service in the meantime.
And they've had so many changes also within the group that I think seeing them celebrate their 10-year anniversary feels even more like sweeter. You know, like celebrating all of that with them.
Of course. And it's been such a journey for them. And also they occupy a space that some people never thought they could because, you know, yes, we used to have, there have been like K-pop rock bands, but there have never been so many at one time. So I feel like every generation is marked by a specific one. So the way that this group has still continued to do so well is remarkable. And I think it's why we still have even more K-pop bands starting to come to the forefront. People still, like, I think they inspire other people to listen to some of the bands that came before them.
And lastly, for me, I think Monsta X, who is also celebrating their 10-year anniversary. Like the fact that they had like a concert to remember like the legacy that they have as the beasts of the industry. Having it in Seoul in Japan, I think really marks like the presence that they've had in these two cities.
Oh, yes. And like, again, another group that the members have had to go and do their service. And sometimes people wonder about how can a group maintain its fire? How can they maintain their presence when some are not there? They clearly have shown that you can do it with a fan base that just will ride for you until the end and support you until you guys are able to come back. I think that the last one that I would talk about is Twice.
They're also celebrating 10 years.
Yeah, it's another 10 years.
So many groups.
There's a lot of 10 years. And I think it's because we are in technically these are like third generation, like at the tail end of third. And so it feels very right that so many of them are able to enjoy the fruits of their labor and also showcase that it's not always the newest groups that people should be paying attention to. You can also continue to rely on some of the older groups to bring you great music and to also evolve with the times. But I'm really proud of them because, you know, they did a world tour a couple of years ago that I got to see. And I know you got to see here in Mexico too.
Last year.
So, you know, like they did a world tour like a couple of years ago, actually literally like last year. And now that they've released 4, like getting ready for another tour, that's insane. Like, and I remember they were remarkable for even their stage setup for the last tour, the Ready to Be tour. I cannot wait to see what comes out of this one because they truly show that there is no way that time can stop them. And they're stronger than ever.
Like their beauty is timeless.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then seeing them maintain kind of like their core identity while pushing out new concepts is also very interesting because at the end, it's like, yes, like their concepts change from album to album. But at the end, you're like, but they're still Twice. Like you can still tell by the colors and like the music that they're still that group.
And their sound, because yes, a lot of their music, especially when they first debuted, was very, very cute, very fresh, very young. And now they've all obviously matured. Like 10 years is like quite some time to be doing music. There still is that like special essence that makes you know like, or comforts you because you know that this is still a Twice song. These are still Twice, the group itself. You know, we've had so many people on the show and we've had so many stories. There is one tiny story that I always wish I could have shared during my time.
Okay, tell us.
So we got a nice story time from Sissi earlier this year when she spoke about her auditioning and almost becoming an idol 2 times. But for me, the closest thing I actually had to that was when I had experienced seeing a group like Busk before they even debuted. And
no
then
way.
Getting to see them grow as a fan. So when I was studying in Korea, I studied in Korea for like a couple of weeks in the summer in 2017. And I used to love going to look at people busk because they're just playing in the streets music. A lot of times it's covers. Sometimes they're with guitars or violins or they're breakdancing or they're doing K-pop dances. And so towards the end of my stay there, I remember seeing a group that they were dressed super like normal college kids and they had a whole band set up like
now
drums.
You have to let us know who it is.
Okay, well, I guess I could just tell you who it is. I basically saw the Rose before they even debuted. And so all that they had on the ground was a piece of paper that said like, follow us at our socials.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And
were they called the Rose back then too?
Yes, they were called the Rose. So they were about a month before debuting because they debuted that August. And I was literally there in July. And I guess at that time they were busking around Seoul. Like they were near like the universities.
Wow. So you can say that you saw the Rose before they were even like public knowledge, right?
Yeah, literally I did. And I actually remember when I listened to them, what caught my ear was the fact that they were speaking in English because I was like, oh my God, finally English. And they were covering like the script.
Yeah.
And I felt like, wow, like these guys are great. They might make it. So like me and like my little point and shoot camera was recording them. I got to talk to them after and I got their autographs and photos with them.
Do you still have those?
I still have those.
God.
If I can, I will figure out, I'll send it to, you can see the photos that we took. And I remember literally thinking these guys have to be big one day. I have no idea. And they said, please wait for our debut. We're debuting next month. And so I went home after studying.
Yeah.
And when I saw their debut, I was like,
You're
oh my
like,
gosh,
you
wow.
know them.
They were legit about that. They were really, really debuted. And so I've been like closely watching their climb since then.
And it must feel extra special to you, like seeing them like grow in popularity and like grow artistically too. And like now they've done world tours and everything. So it must be like,
when I got
be like, these are my children.
It felt like kind of like, wow, like we grew together.
Right.
When I was in college, like we were actually around the same age. And so seeing them do this at the same age, I was like, oh my gosh, like they're risking a lot to go for their dreams, especially because, you know, to do a Korean rock band too is different than K-pop. I feel like there aren't as many opportunities for that.
Yeah.
And then when they were able to go on their world tours, like they did a lot in Europe. So finally, I got to see them in LA, like 7 years, I think, after I first saw them. And it felt very like, oh, wow. Like we went from like the sidewalk to a whole concert with thousands of people there. So I just wanted to share that story.
Thank you for sharing your story. I mean, not a lot of people will have a similar story to yours.
Well, maybe the other girls that were there with me that day, but
let us know. Let us know in the comments.
If you were there too, let me know.
And lastly, I think my question for you is, how do you think you've grown in this podcast in the last half year?
In the last half year?
Yes.
I think in the last half year, well, one, it's the first podcast I've ever done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got through your first half year as a podcaster. Congrats on your debut.
Thank you so much.
You're still a rookie, like a newbie.
I'm still a rookie. This is my first generation.
This is your first album.
This is my first album. But I think in the greatest sense of the podcast, I think it has opened my eyes to just how much more there is to the K-pop community, to people who work in the industry, to people who carve their own space out. Being able to hear like inspirational stories about how someone who's already a director can work with an idol to create a really cool film, like a short film, to see how somebody can create their own magazine, a YouTube channel that they've had running for well over a decade. Like all of these different accomplishments are so comforting to me because it truly shows that like there really is no one path to working towards being with something you love. So if what you love is music, if what you love is K-pop, there's always a way to do it. And you don't always have to be the one singing to do it or the one making the song. You can be the one heralding the crowd. Like, you know what they say that
right,
like,
there's like different roles. There's a different hat that fits everyone.
Yeah, but what about you? How do you think that you've grown now that we've done 20 episodes?
Crazy. First of all, I think time has really flown by so fast for me, but I think I've grown a lot like personally too, where I think even through these interactions that we've had, I've been able to learn so much from people and also just get to know like other fellow fans. Like when we interviewed Leanne, like yes, we were talking about her professional life, but also like we were able to like bond over our love for NCT. I think like small moments like that made me feel really proud of how far the podcast has come. And yeah, I think we've been able to continue to learn a lot about different topics. Obviously, like we are K-pop fans, but there's so much about K-pop that I feel like even in these 20 episodes, we haven't finished covering. Like, yes, we talked about dance. Yes, we talked about culture. We talked about different groups, but K-pop is just so much more. And I feel like 20 episodes wasn't enough. I definitely think that, you know, there is just so much more to talk about. But we've been able to learn so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like through this experience, I've gotten so much closer to you as well.
Of course. Not just in seats, but you know, in our hearts.
Not just like by talking only. Yeah. But I think we've also had to work behind the scenes a lot for this.
Yes.
There's been a lot of research, a lot of late nights. We've also been able to interview other artists such as 1or8. So I think having those...
that was insane, that moment.
Right, like having those special experiences, we wouldn't have been able to achieve it without the podcast, but also like without the support of like our production, without the support of Weverse, who are supporting us from the US and from Korea. And also, we've been able to get so many albums and like, you know... things like that have been really, really cool to experience.
But I think it goes hand in hand with the way that all of these platforms have helped it so much easier. Have helped make it so much easier to get these things.
Yeah.
Because I would have never imagined, like, when I first got into K-pop like 13 years ago, I'd be sitting next to so many albums because they can just come directly to us now because we have platforms like Weverse that help us at least order them, track the order. I don't have to wait 60 days probably to get it with no shipping, with no shipping code. It just speaks to how much for the better things have changed. And it also gives me hope for how much even more things could change.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're already talking about the topic of merch. Should we move on to our next section? I think this is the perfect transition. I don't know if you did it intentionally or unintentionally, but maybe we should move on to our next section.
Let's move on to the
Weverse wrap-up. So I think in the Weverse wrap-up of today, you might be familiar, but if you're new to our last episode on Weverse wrap-up, we talk about kind of like the updates that have been going on. But I think for today's episode, we really want to highlight like some of the new changes that have been brought onto the platform. For me, like my first highlight is how there's different options to pay now in Weverse. For example, in Mexico now there's OXXO Pay available. So for people who don't know what OXXO is, it's like a convenience store. And so for people that maybe don't have credit cards or they don't have the availability of paying for it online, like they can like go to OXXO, the convenience store, and just pay for it there. And, you know, I think that makes it like, it gives another option to fans who are unable to have the same option as other people.
I see that as more accessible because a lot of
100%.
younger fans, you know, they may not have access to a credit card. And so being able to take the money that they earn, birthday money, whatever they have and that they want to put towards getting an album of their own, and all they have to do is visit like a convenience store that is found everywhere. It makes it feel like, oh wow, okay, this is something that I can actually add to my life. It doesn't feel like a hassle.
Right. And I think also talking about like the merch side, now like Weverse is also shipping from the US. So I think that also helps like lower shipping costs and the shipping time. And
shipping time for sure.
I know that like whenever it gets shipped from Korea, you usually have to wait a little bit longer because, you know, it's coming from the other side of the world. But now like having that new option where it can get shipped much faster at a lower cost, I think helps fans with that experience, right?
Oh, for sure. And it makes you feel like, okay, it's not such a challenge to get the one thing that I really want to. I can order something and it'll get to me in good timing. I won't have to feel like I'm paying maybe the price of the album in shipping. And just it makes it a more affordable and economic choice. And something that you can actually do now. And then I do think that now everyone has been noticing, because it's been since the last 6 months, I've noticed that every single time I look into a community, there are like listening parties. That has been such a cool change that came to Weverse. Now you can actually listen with other fans, and it doesn't feel so solitary to be listening to your favorite album, because now it's kind of nice that you can listen with others.
Yeah, I think that feature makes the community feel closer, and also gives the opportunity to meet like other fans in the community, meet new friends.
For sure. And then lastly, I've seen what you've been doing to the icons on your phone.
I think the customizable app icon makes the Weverse experience just much more personalized. Like being able to choose like your favorite artist as the icon, I think also makes you feel closer to the artist itself. And so having that new feature on Weverse, I think has been kind of like a game changer.
And it makes it like feel like, yeah, this is where I go to find out stuff about them.
100%. And so I think those were just like some of the updates that Weverse has. Obviously, I think like having the language options being slowly included has also been like a great feature to have. And I can't wait to see how Weverse continues to cater towards fan and like listen to what fans want.
Of course.
And like integrate that into the platform. And, you know, at the end, it's like, this is a platform for fans.
Yes.
And by fans. So I think like it'll continue to change as like the fan community continues to grow and like demand for like specific things that like can make their experience like much more easier.
1000%.
So I'm excited to see like what other changes and updates will come.
I know if that's all we had for the last half year, who knows where we're going to be in a couple of more months. And that's been
the Weverse Wrap Up. In the fan zone today, obviously we've like had a K-pop podcast in 2025, but have we really lived the fan experience? So today we have like a bingo card.
Okay.
And if you check more than 15 boxes, it means that you didn't just survive 2025, you dominated it as a fan.
Okay.
So we're gonna put the bingo here. So please play along with us and let us know how many boxes you've been able to check.
All right. So Sissi.
Okay.
Everyone gets the middle spot. It's an X.
Right.
That's a free spot.
Free space. That's the free space for everyone.
That's the I like K-pop box.
The first box is you bought merch on Weverse. Have you bought merch on Weverse?
I don't know. Have we?
Have we? I definitely have, even the ones that are not here. I bought like the NCT albums that have come out, like especially Mark's whole collection. I've also bought like 17's like 10th year anniversary albums because they had the option to like directly ship it to Mexico. So, you know, bought a lot of albums, maybe too much.
Yeah, is there ever too much?
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Exactly. I mean, it's helped me definitely accelerate the growth of my collection at home, and even helping me get light sticks, because that's not something I can always readily find everywhere. And being able to not just be limited to when they come to my town so I can buy it at the concert has been a game changer for me.
You celebrated your group's anniversary.
We did that on the podcast. Yes,
we did. I stayed up to watch like 17's 10-year anniversary performance. We also celebrated in the Spanish version Super Junior's 20th anniversary. So we've definitely been able to do that.
Let's see. Discovered a new group to stan.
NCT Wish.
NCT Wish.
You attended a pop-up store or event?
Yes, because we've had so many that have happened over the last 6 months.
And we've been able to go to the J-Hope one, for example.
Okay, so customize your Weverse icon. Unfortunately, I have not, but somebody here has.
Check. Okay, second row. So far, I have 5 crossed. How many?
She's winning. I have 4.
You went to a K-pop concert?
Yes.
We've been to so many already.
So many together.
I think I went to at least 5 this year. At least
5? I would say that, yeah. Probably at least 5. If we're not counting festivals, at least 5.
Okay. If we're counting festivals, it's probably even more.
Yeah.
You learned part of a choreography.
Okay, and you also have to name which one it is.
Dang. Am I going to get tested for this?
No, I won't make you get up, but like you should do a little...
Does pop count?
Pop definitely counts.
Okay. That's part of a choreography.
Yeah. And...
Pop by NCT Wish, by the way.
I'm trying to think. Which one did I learn this year? Okay, well, I guess everyone has learned this one by now, but the hottie.
Oh my God, gnarly.
And
and legit. Okay, that counts. You participated in a global fan project.
Yes.
You have?
Yes, because when J-Hope was here in Latin America, there was a huge Spotify truck where you could leave letters.
Did you leave a letter?
Of course I left a letter.
Okay, you can cross that one out. I did not participate. But I looked at the truck and I was like, so basically it was like a truck that they also showed it to J-Hope at the concert and it was like filled with fan letters. It was so cute. Next. You made a TikTok or Instagram reel with the K-pop trend. And yes, because of the podcast.
Because of the podcast.
Next, you learned a K-pop group's fan chant. I've actually never learned a fan chant. It's really hard.
I feel like I only know like parts of some, but I don't know them in its entirety. So I'll skip this one.
I will also skip. It's hard, guys. It's like you're rapping. You have to rap like the members' names, and then like sometimes they do it in reverse too.
Yes,
it's hard.
It's harder, especially for the bigger groups. Have to take pity on us.
You repeated a music video more than 100 times.
You see, I feel like I have, but
I definitely have.
Okay, which
when
video?
Mark released his debut album as a solo singer, I really streamed that. I really streamed it.
Does it count if it's a cover video? Like if
Haechan?
it's a cover song?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a music video, technically.
Haechan's cover of Utada Hikaru's First Love, I have definitely
Angelic voice.
replayed more than 100 times.
They need to release that on music platforms.
It's not on streaming platforms, which is why I only go on YouTube to listen to it.
You joined a new Weverse community this year.
1000%.
Oh my God. I joined NCT Wish's Weverse community. I'm telling you, we discovered a new group to stan.
I joined Hearts to Hearts.
You sung a K-pop song while getting ready for a concert.
100%, yes.
Okay, even while not getting ready for a concert, we're definitely singing K-pop songs. Like,
yeah, it just
on the
plays
get-go.
on loop. It's always on my playlist, so I have to.
Yeah.
Watched a K-pop group's reality show or variety show.
Yes, and yes.
Yes, I have.
I'm also watching Nana B&B now that got released last month on Weverse. So that's the 17 new variety show.
Well, you see, I watched an older one.
Which
I watched
one?
Island.
Oh my, yes. You used your light stick? Yes. Because of concerts.
Concerts, decoration.
Oh, this one applies to you. You sent fan mail to your favorite artist or group.
That's a 2-for-1.
Not me. You introduced someone new to K-pop. All of our production team. That counts.
That definitely counts.
They're doing this in the back.
They're partying in the back too. They have favorites now.
You made or received a fan gift related to K-pop. I've received like freebies at concerts. Does that count?
I've received freebies too. I guess so because it's a fan gift related to K-pop. freebies are specific to K-pop and they're fan-made.
Okay.
So then for sure.
Check. You ordered a special edition album or merch item this year.
1,000%.
Yes, on Weverse.
Literally on Weverse.
I also bought all of Mark's different versions of his albums, and all of them are so cute. So
you are a real fan.
NCT, you hear me? You attended a K-pop themed party. I have not actually. I'm not a big party person.
Like in 2025, no, I haven't.
I have not. Okay. You traveled to a city or country just for a K-pop concert.
Yes, but not this year. So I have to skip this one.
Okay. I went to New York to see NCT.
Can you guess what group she likes?
And then I traveled to LA to see SMTown. It was literally SMTown Mexico on Friday. And then I traveled to LA on Saturday. And then I watched it on Sunday, the SMTown. So yes.
I have seen so many shows, unfortunately, all in the same place. Or I guess, fortunately, that I've been able to see them all in the same place. Mm-hmm. But I have plans that I will have to travel at some point to see someone else.
You filmed an album unboxing. Yes, I have.
I have not. My albums are for me.
You used your favorite group's emojis or stickers.
Yes.
I keep sending like these meme stickers to Chrismaly.
And I save them as stickers so I can send them back.
Yes. You listened to a K-pop podcast?
Yes. Check. Okay.
I definitely have more than 15.
1,000%. Oh my gosh. How many?
I have 20.
I have 20.
Oh. Nice. Okay. Well, I hope that you guys also enjoyed this dynamic, and I hope that you guys were able to check as many boxes as us. Let us know if anyone out here has checked all of the boxes.
I'm certain someone's beat us here.
Yes, so please let us know in the comments.
All right, so Sissi, it's been 20 episodes. I've been so happy to do them here with you. And also getting to read the comments from the listeners, which of course you guys keep following us on our socials because we love seeing everything you guys write. The QR code shows all. But I think what's been most impactful is when people really get detailed about what certain episodes mean or what's having some of their favorite creators on the show meant to them. It makes you feel like, wow, I feel like I helped complete a circle.
For sure. But yes, I want to thank all of you for just being in this journey with us as we continue on this K-pop fan experience. I think having this podcast has been able to make my experience feel less lonely.
Of course.
But also feel like a shared experience. And then also I'm able to learn about new groups and also talk about my favorite groups. And so that has been really, really fun.
And for the listeners, if some of you are bilingual, you would realize that Sissi, it's actually not 20 episodes, it's 40
episodes. Yes, you're right. Going off what Chrismaly said, if you're interested in seeing any of the Spanish versions, we also have a Spanish version available called Todo en el Verso.
Yeah, but thank you so much for your hard work this year, Sissi. I was so happy to have been a co-host here with you. And it's not like it's the end of the journey.
You never know what's going to happen. Maybe see you soon, maybe not. Wink, wink. But yes, shall we say goodbye to our viewers one last time?
For now. One last time.
We never know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been Sissi.
This has been Chrismaly.
And this has been Pod in the Verse. Bye.
See you next time.
See you next time.